Good evening, and welcome to Curtain Call, our theater podcast all about theater. From the page to the stage, from the players to the playhouses, we're here to enlighten your world and inform you all about theater and the world of theater and the stage. We're happy to be here with you today, and we're so blessed to discuss with you today Mosaic Youth Theater. For the time I've been in Michigan, a number of years, I cannot mention or think of a better, more outstanding program for the training of young people in theater than Mosaic Youth Theater. I've seen a number of his shows, and based on my opinion, it's the best in the city. And we're blessed and fortunate today to have with us Asia Hicks, who is the theater program specialist and a young up and coming artist, well, not even up and coming, a young emerging artist, Shahada Nelson from Mosaic Youth Theater. Welcome to Curtain Call.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
So happy for you to be here. I know as we go about informing our audience and building up our audience and enlightening our audience of the culture of the stage and the performing arts, um, we want them to understand that theater is an all-encompassing art that allows you to grow in so many different areas and in so many different ways, from your self-esteem to building skills that you can use across a number of platforms as you mature and become an adult and contributing citizen in the world. So, with theater, with the Mosaic in particular, I want you guys to just tell us about its history, about yourselves, about tell us a little bit about Rick and how he started it, and just let us know what Mosaic is all about. And so, Miss Hicks, would you tell us who you are and a little bit about
Sure.
yourself?
Yes. My name's Asia Hicks. I've been working with Mosaic for about 6 months now.
Okay.
I think I finally got my feet in the sand as far
Okay.
as working with the young artists. But Mosaic goes back, all the way back to 1992
Okay.
when Rick started the foundation. He came to visit us back in when was alumni night? That was no October,
I think
November.
it was November.
It might have been late November,
Late.
early December. I think it was after Thanksgiving, so it would have been right before December. And he gave us a nice, mini story on his beginnings of Mosaic. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was really interesting because if you go visit Mosaic today, you'll see photos all around the walls,
Mm-hmm.
um, y- showing all of Mosaic's history.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had started, I'm sure for you, because this is your first year, you've seen pictures of Rick every single day. You've been in Mosaic, you've seen this guy, here's this guy. So it was nice to finally, meet him in person. Like, oh my gosh, you're the guy that's on
Mm-hmm.
all the walls here. Um, but it was really inspiring just hearing him talk about how he looked around the city of Detroit and saw the lack of resources for young
Mm-hmm.
artists and took it upon himself to, create Mosaic. I believe at the time it was that little tiny house. It was a very, very small house at one point, before we are in the current space that we're in. So it's just been growing ever since. And we're very proud of our mission statement,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Creating pathways to equity and opportunity through arts experiences that engage, transform, and inspire youth and communities.
so that's our mission statement,
That's
Yes.
that's a great mission statement.
and we teach it to all of our young artists.
I
If
see.
you go see any
If
of
you-
our young artists on the street, you can stop and be like, what's the Mosaic mission?"
Okay.
And they'll
And they can say that. Okay,
Mhm.
that's great. That's so starting off with a memorization of something meaningful, and
Yes.
for the not only for the theater but for the city of Detroit.
Mhm.
That's great. Detroit is blessed with so much gifted young people, generations of gifted actors, singers, dancers, musicians, and Mosaic since 1992
Mhm.
has been really uh, at the forefront of developing the talent now. I mean, back in the day, you had Motown. Back in the day, you had people coming through like Della Reese and Courtney Vance. And I mean, you've got a world of Bonnie Curtis Hall. You've got a world of talent that's come out of Detroit who are well known and renowned in their own right. And right here with Mosaic Youth Theater, You're developing the next generations, not just the
Hmm.
next generation, but the next generations of gifted young talent across the spectrum. Tell us a little bit about the various uh, learning experiences that Mosaic offers.
Oh, the programming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a few different programs. Lots of ages, all the way third grade, all the way up to 12th grade. So we try to cover as much as the young experience as we can. If you want to start out in Mosaic, you've got summer camp. It's third through eighth grade.
Okay.
It's actually starting up very soon. This June, I believe 21st is the first day of summer camp. June 24th, 21st, 20 something.
Okay.
Last week of June. And that's a 3-week experience for emerging young artists to have their first theatrical experiences. And then we offer the junior ensemble. The junior ensemble is a 5th through 8th grade program, after school program,
Mhm.
and we kind of treat it like a mini prep program for our youth ensemble that Shahada is a part of.
One thing I would say I really like about the ensembles is that it's split up into acting, singing, and technicians,
Right.
which you can get a variety of things from each of those groups. But at the same time, we all end up coming together and all end up getting, a various mixture of all of those things. Like I'm in the acting company, but
Mhm.
I get to sing. I get to strike out after performances and see how tech works, how singing is, and just overall everything in the field.
Okay. Okay. That's all encompassing. We talked about that a little last week with Keith Jackson about how you get the hands on the construction,
Hmm.
the painting, the building, the lighting, the audio, the tech part of theater. So
Yeah, that
you
was
know,
that was my start was doing technical theater.
okay,
So
okay,
I know the 360 perspective. I came from a performing arts program that was structured similarly how you'll see like a freshman year of a theater undergrad, with the
okay.
same kind of structure where you have all your
Mhm.
classes and you kind of have to do a little bit of everything to get
Mhm.
all your credits, and you have to put in hours at the shop, and
Mhm.
it's preparing you for that professional acting experience or
Very
theater
much.
performance. And it's nice to see parts of that in Mosaic as well, because I was trained to be a well-rounded actor. The goal for me was always any job that needs to be done in a theater, I got you.
Yeah,
You need
right.
some tightened. You need some hung. Like
Mhm.
whatever it is, a backdrop, a flat painted or built, or a stitch, a hem. Alterations. Just always trying to be useful,
Mhm.
and continuing to add those skills to the tool belt. So just in rainy day, pick up a gig somewhere, doing PA work somewhere.
Mhm.
You always have these skills. So we like to kind of, I guess, cross pollinate is the word I want to
Mhm.
use with our young artists, so they get a little bit of everything. Shahada was just a part of our singers concert that we just
Mhm.
did, because there was a lot of spoken word poetry
Okay.
and rap that needed to be done, that carries a certain kind of emotional cadence
Songs for the
that
people.
Songs for the People we did in February for Black History Month. So, and
Okay.
that required a certain kind of emotional depth that we wanted to utilize our acting company for. And the same thing, we're doing a show coming up coming very soon, this May. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot more in a little bit.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of music in that play. So
Mhm.
for that music sections, we're going to need the help of our singers. So the
Mhm.
singers are going to be part of the play. So it's a lot of sharing.
Okay. You mentioned you had some training in technical theater.
Mhm.
How you got your start. We don't mind giving them a plug. But where was that?
Oh, sure, yeah. So the Warren Consolidated School of Performing Arts. It's a part of the Warren Consolidated School District. It's a magnet program that runs
Mhm.
through the 3 high schools that are a part of there. So if you're in that school district, you're eligible for auditioning for the program,
Mhm.
and it replaces all of your oh my gosh, not me forgetting what they're called. What are the extracurriculars? What do you call them? The electives.
Electives.
Boom, electives. It replaces all your electives. And my problem in high school was I didn't want to take gym, and I
Okay.
wasn't gonna take gym
Okay.
because gym meant I got to get my hair wet every Friday,
Ah.
and I'm not doing that because
Okay.
my mom was taking me to the hair salon, and I
Used to
can't.
swim.
Right.
Well, we
Right.
had to for gym class. We had to swim as part of gym, and I was like, well, I got to figure out how to get out of that class. And the Wixper program covers all of your gym credits because of we have to do so much dance. We have to learn tap dance, ballet,
Right.
hip hop, modern. We have every year we study a new um area. So
Mhm.
it covered all of the extra classes and I was like, great, I guess I'll try this theater thing and see what happens.
Right.
And yeah, it was very different from Mosaic. But it really helped me become very secure in myself as an artist.
Okay. That hair thing is a black thing, y'all. Black women don't get their hair.
Yeah, and
wet.
it wasn't a very black place, so they didn't really have a lot of
That's
empathy
that's a black thing.
for that.
Yeah.
I started off pretty young, performing in front of large amounts of people.
Oh,
I think one thing Mosaic really helps me with, and one thing I've been trying to get out of my shell with, is being a very social person. I
Okay.
present myself as a very social person, but really, I'm really an introvert.
Did you
I really
panic when
don't
I
like
asked you to
talking
do
Me
this?
too.
I I'm growing out of it. I'm getting
I knew
into
you
this.
could. I knew
I'm getting into this setting, but I used to have one-on-one conversations and would be very nervous to talk to people, but then I would do piano recitals in like the second grade in front of thousands of people, and it was just my passion. And then
So you're a musician as well.
yep, I
Okay.
produce music, I act, I sing, I write music. So
And do you dance?
I'm working on dance. I'm
Okay.
working on
he
dance.
has danced.
Okay.
I have a dance.
He has danced.
Okay. Okay. Um, you were talking about the different levels that the
Mhm.
program offers.
Mhm.
Uh, the question I'm sure a lot of our audience, at least the parents of our audience, uh, has is what's the process? How do you get involved with Mosaic Youth Theater? Is there an audition? Is it just open to anybody? You have to.
Yeah, well, it is open to anybody. It's not just Detroit. You don't have to live in Detroit.
Mhm.
We have people coming from Ann Arbor,
Yep, my
the
friend
Flint
lives
area.
an hour away, Daniel.
Daniel, yep, and they find a way to get here.
Okay.
And we do have auditions every summer. Our auditions are going to be in June or July. Ooh. They're on our website. You can always go to our
They're in
website.
June. They're in June.
June. It is June, right?
Yep.
Okay. This June we'll have our season auditions for both the junior program and the youth ensemble program. So
Mhm.
that's fifth all the way through 12th grade can
Okay.
come and audition.
There are plenty of opportunities to get in on Mosaic, as well as the auditions. You can also go to the open houses. I
Okay.
think Mosaic is always open to accepting new people. It's just
Okay.
about finding the right fit to build the ensemble.
Yeah, we've had several people join us mid-season like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I wasn't around for auditions, but
Okay.
we'll always take people." And then we also do have another program called Mosaic Mobile where we will come to you. So if there's a program or a school or a class or just any type of organization that wants to experience Mosaic but
Mhm.
don't have the, can't come to us, we can go to them. And
Mhm.
there's a program called Mosaic Mobile. There's a lot of information about that on our website. The lovely Andia Spencer, who is one of our faculty at Mosaic, she runs it like a well-oiled machine.
Okay. Okay. You're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world, streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Please take the time to give us a thumbs up, to write us a comment, let us know what you're thinking about the show, because we want to use you to help build a theater audience, not only in Detroit, but around the world. We want to grow theater and enlighten the world about the culture of performing arts. So, again, you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Okay, so back to the process. Anybody can join. There are auditions. Are there auditions per music? Auditions per the acting company and the music company? I know you all work together at some point in time. Tell us about how those break down. What happens when you audition and become a part of the music training, and what happens when you audition and become a part of the acting training? And is there dance? Oh, as well as the theater technical aspect.
Well, I'll let Shahada talk about the details because I joined the Mosaic team immediately following auditions.
Yeah,
So I'll have
okay.
my first audition process this summer. But it is a very ensemble based audition. It's not the formal kind of come in, hello, slate, my name is. It's
Mhm.
not super duper formal like that. It's a lot of
Okay.
circle up, connect with the people around you,
Mhm.
because a big thing about Mosaic is it's all ensemble based. It's all community
Okay.
based. It's all about how you treat each other.
Mhm.
That determines everyone's outcome in Mosaic.
Mhm.
But as far as the day of, I know Shahada just had his first audition and it went pretty
yes.
well because here he is.
Okay.
Mosaic focuses not too much on the skill level because you can always learn. If a person is open to learn, they're always able to be taught.
Right. Exactly.
So Mosaic looks for people who treat others well, respect others, and who are willing to be professional. So Mosaic really teaches a lot about professionalism. My audition, it was very fun. We had 2 days.
Okay.
The first day, when we first went in, they gathered everybody up. We got to converse a little bit, and then we split up into groups. And that's when we dabbled a little bit in each section. So kind of like an exposition before we chose. So they showed us a little bit what the acting portion would be like. They
Mhm.
showed us a little bit what the singers would do, and a little bit about what the technicians would do.
Okay.
Then they allowed us to choose which one we would like to audition for, and they gave us a piece to bring back the next day for auditions.
Okay.
And for us, for the actors, it was an INU scene, which we ran a couple of times with a couple of different people,
Mhm.
and it was amazing. I just got to learn more about the people I was going to be working with, learn more about my the members
Okay.
of Mosaic, and it was just a fun process. Amazing.
Okay. Okay. And I take it as so. At what point do you decide which area you're going to go to, whether it's going to be music, and what does all of the music encompass? Besides, is it just vocal? Is it instrumental?
It is a vocal program.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
vocal
it's a
program.
vocal program, so
Okay.
they focus a lot on the voice
Okay.
specifically,
But
and
they do a lot of dance,
there is
a
a lot
lot
that
of choreography.
we have a lot of choreographers come through Mosaic and teach for and instruct for our singers because their concerts will be it's not show choir,
Hmm.
standing and swaying
Right.
and singing.
Right.
Like they are truly dancing.
Yeah. Like I said, I saw a show there at some point last year during the school year, and there was all singing, and it was an original show, written. I think it was written by the students,
Yep.
and performed at the Detroit Institute of Art. It was a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, and a lot of acting. It was a great show. We took a group of kids from the school I was at the time to see that show, and they loved it. I had taken a drama club of your view,
I
and
feel like I'll get the statistic wrong, but I know it's around like 70% of the work Mosaic does is original work.
oh, that's
It's
great.
like it's intentional that most of
That's
the
a
work we do is created by the young artist in some capacity.
mhm,
Um, we don't do a lot of we don't get rights for shows and do your standard average plays. Like we want our young artists to have those skills of creating their own content and originating their own ideas and making those ideas a reality.
okay,
um my one of my favorite, I guess, Mosaic slogans, because we do have a few different slogans, um but it's excellence on stage and in life.
okay,
So our goal is to not only prepare young artists, for the world of, performance and this industry, but also how to be functioning adult humans in the world.
right.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. Anytime you're working with young people, getting them ready to be adults, productive thinking,
Hmm.
creative, cooperative, team working adults.
Because we have artists who, come, with a heart set on singing and acting, and then end
Mhm.
up being some of the best lawyers, doctors, surgeons, educators.
Mhm.
Our young artists have become Grammy winners and Tony winners and on
Mhm.
HBO and Hulu, and um, doing really profound things with engineering and education. Like every type of like industry in the world, you can probably find somebody in Mosaic at one at down the line far enough.
Oh, that's great.
Mosaic, it really promotes focus We are heavy on focus at Mosaic.
Discipline, a lot of
A
discipline.
lot of discipline. So
The daughter to do theater, you gotta have focus, you gotta have discipline, and you gotta have energy, lots and lots of energy. I tell people all the time, they think, oh, I can just give me a script, I can just get on there.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't
Yeah.
get on stage and be you. You have to take your energy level to a whole different level in order to perform on the stage. Um, and as we mentioned earlier, the way it builds your self confidence and self esteem. There's nothing you can't go out there and do in the world, and you're showing that to us right now in your presentation here today. I'm impressed with what I'm seeing here. Now back to uh, you mentioned everything is pretty much original,
Mm-hmm.
and that you create yourself. Are there writing workshops involved? Do you get the hands-on? Actually, I knew that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
I knew
you're
that
leading
because
yourself there.
I was.
Yeah.
I just remembered in an interviewing Edmund. Edmund was supposed to call me to be to assist.
Oh, one of the mentors.
Yeah, to be one of the mentors
Yep.
in the
Mhm.
writing. I just
Yep.
remembered.
New
that.
Voices. It's called New
Yeah.
Voices
Okay.
Detroit.
Hopefully, I can get in there.
You
This
probably still
summer,
good. Yeah. Oh yeah. We haven't
yeah.
started yet. There's still hop on.
I'm gonna be participating in New Voices this
Officially.
year. Officially, no, but I'm keeping my hopes high.
Oh,
I'm keeping
okay,
my
okay.
hopes
Because I
high.
knew you had your interview thing. So okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So break down new. Tell us our audience what New Voices is.
Yeah, it's a program that we run during the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an opportunity for young artists to have their work that they write themselves put up in a professional environment. So we have professional playwright mentors that come in and they work with the young artists to write their own piece, and then that piece is handed off to professional directors who then cast young artists to perform. And so it's an opportunity. And there's also a music composing I guess section as well. So we'll have young composers write their own music, and then there'll be a concert of the young artists and their original music, and then the original plays as well. So it's an entire festival of just new original work, all created by young artists in the city of Detroit.
Okay, and when does that start?
That starts,
No
on
idea.
top of your head. It's
No
on our
idea.
website, mosaicdetroit.org.
It is a summer program.
It
right?
is. It is a
Yes.
summer program.
Okay.
All of my dates are all of my to prepare dates, but it will be in. I participated a few times as a director in a directing capacity prior to working full time at Mosaic, and that was in August. So I'm gonna go ahead and say August.
Okay, so I didn't realize there was a directing component as well.
Yes, that's not available for the young artists quite
Okay.
yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on starting some directing education for the young artists.
Okay.
But right now, that's something that we are giving them the opportunity to collaborate with people in the community with. So this was back in 2019. I was kind of fresh out of undergrad, coming working around the city, and I was able to come in and work with Mosaic as I still at the time I'm still a young artist, fresh out of college, trying to start working as a director, and being able to work with Mosaic in that capacity was also just wonderful.
Okay, so there is a writing component, even though that's a writing component. The directing component is not exactly for the young people yet.
Yes.
You're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're working on that. Okay, that's great. So it is all encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all encompassing. Everything that is about theater, and as we talked about last week, the ensemble of theater. The theater is an ensemble experience, period, because you've got to bring together all those components: the acting, the writing, the directing, the stage managing, the lighting, the sound,
Mhm.
the dance, costuming,
Mhm.
makeup, the crew.
It
There's
helps.
plenty. There's plenty to go around.
It
Yeah.
helps to know. It helps to be versed too, because sometimes you may say, "Oh, well, this person's doing props. Their job is easy. I have to memorize all these lines." And nobody's job is easy.
Right.
Nobody's job is easy. Every person on the stage matters. Every person behind the stage matters. Every person in the booth matters. And it all comes together as an ensemble.
And when those people are missing, and those days come, and then we're down, 3, 4, 5 members of our ensemble, it hurts. We feel it.
Yeah.
We feel
I
it's
know,
very
I know.
palpable.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Poe, we were talking about Dr. Poe. Dr.
Mhm.
Poe used to tell us all the time, there are no small parts.
Only
They're
small
small
actors.
actors.
Right.
Didn't I just say that to y'all?
Yep.
Really?
You say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I sure
that
do.
was one of the things Dr. Poe would tell us all the time. That's Dr. Thomas E. Poe,
Mm-hmm.
first black PhD in drama, Tennessee State University. I don't mind plugging my alma mater. And
Yeah.
great theater program. Oprah Winfrey came through that program.
Beautiful.
Um, so where did you do your undergraduate?
I went to Western Michigan.
Western Michigan.
Mhm.
Good school.
Yep.
Good
Go
school.
Broncos.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
nice. Kalamazoo treated me very well.
Did you do theater there?
I did.
Okay.
Yep. I had the acting major with a focus in directing.
Okay. Okay.
Was that with Kate?
It was with Kate. Yeah, they just we went on a field trip yesterday.
Okay.
To
Oh, young guys been doing a lot of field trips.
Yeah, it's college
Mhm.
tour season, so
Yeah, it is.
we are going
Yeah.
around. We were at TSU. We saw Clark Atlanta. We saw Spelman and Morehouse, and so
Mhm.
we didn't get to see a lot of Michigan schools yet. So we
Okay.
stopped by Western yesterday and saw their production of Dreamgirls,
Oh.
and met with some of the professors there. And it was nice to be able to go to my professors and be like, "These are my babies,"
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. So it was very very nice experience.
Okay. And they did Dreamgirls.
They did Dreamgirls. They
Yeah.
sure did. Yeah,
I'm sure it was great.
it was amazing. It was
Okay.
truly amazing. Yeah.
Great. Great. That's
They had an
wonderful.
alumni guest director from Western come in and direct it. It was really great. Anthony
Okay.
Hamilton was wonderful.
Anthony Hamilton. Okay.
Hmm.
I can't say that. Uh, it's, in terms of you mentioned that everything's original, so you don't do Mosaic doesn't do your Raisin in the Sun.
It's not that we don't do, we
Mhm.
definitely could and we have, there has been traditional, plays done that I just know that hasn't really been a focus as in the, last couple of years. But, I love a straight play, I love
Mhm.
scripted work. So I think we've been talking a lot about next season, not to spoil anything for next
Oh no,
season. for
Dila
anyone.
told us.
Did she
She
really?
was thinking about Aladdin. She was thinking about a bunch of different.
Oh, she told
plays.
you the options.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
okay, I
said
didn't
it's
know.
gonna be written
Okay.
next year.
Yeah, so we've
Okay.
officially decided that next season will be an established work. This year we're doing an adaptation of Julius Caesar.
Okay.
So that's our big production this year.
Okay.
And just dabbling in that. Just
Going
I
into a
think.
little Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, but it's not your average Shakespeare. I actually brought Shahada because our version of Julius Caesar it's called All Hail.
Okay.
And it's a different perspective. It's more Brutus's story, and it's more of a what it.
Brutus's story is the story.
Well, true. But it's modernized, so it's set in the
Okay.
Detroit high school,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's not so much. It's not your grandpa's
It's not your
Shakespeare.
classical.
Yeah, and it
production.
uses dream-like sequences to take you in and out of a Roman-esque like dream state, and
Mhm.
our Brutus is seeing what could happen, in the way that we know the story that we know. But there's a what if element to the
Okay.
story if things would have ended up a little bit differently than the story that we know.
That's interesting. I know that a lot of theater companies do modern twist on Shakespeare.
Hmm.
And not only just the theater companies, but the film industry as well do modern twist on Shakespeare and modern settings like schools and communities and that sort of thing, neighborhoods, and tell the story, like with the tragedies. We all know the tragedies have those people have tragic flaws and something bad. Their personal tragic flaws bring them down. So those stories are adapted to modern times, so people can understand exactly what it is they're watching.
Julius Caesar, it really focuses on pursuits of power. So
Mm-hmm.
this story, this retelling, is
Hmm.
basically showing the pursuits of power, but what it would look like from the perspective of a high schooler in the 2000s.
Yeah, it's modern.
2020,
It's
yeah.
modern, yeah.
Today's
Today's time,
today's
yeah.
time.
So it's we start off, bell rings. We're in high school, so that's
Mhm.
and then it's like, all right, open your books, let's read Shakespeare. So it's
Well,
immersive.
That's actually a classic story in high school. Period.
Mm-hmm.
The pursuit of power. There's always power struggles within your cliques and your groups
Mm-hmm.
and your group of associates and friends, as well as the power struggle from your athletes to your other groups they're always competing with the athletes, mostly on the male side and the female side as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that is interpreted in under the structure of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar.
And we'll get a very I think it'll be a great adaptation. And Shahad is actually playing Brutus himself.
Okay,
So he's
Brutus,
Yes.
A2 Brutus.
Mm-hmm.
It too.
Okay, you are watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world, coming to you live, streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So please give us a thumbs up, write some comments, say some nice things about what you're seeing, especially about these young people we have with us today. Um, Tell your friends to watch the show. We're bringing it to you every week. Somebody new from the world of theater. Again, you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. So Mosaics have been around since 1992, and I've probably seen a number of shows since that time. Over 95% of your alumni have gone to college.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were saying earlier, Mosaic prepares you for life in any field of endeavor. Um, are there some notable names of people we can look at and say, "Oh, I didn't know they came through Mosaic"? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Well, I believe you brought up
I brought up Diara.
Diara in
Diara,
Detroit. I believe her show is Diara in Detroit
Yeah,
is her show.
Diara in Detroit. Yeah.
Yep, she is one of our alumni that have gone on to do many things. I will say my favorite alumni personally, my one of my favorite things about Mosaic, uh, a lot of our alumni are still with us at Mosaic.
Oh,
So
great.
they come back. So D. Lachey,
Okay.
D. Lachey Strotter is currently the executive and artistic director of Mosaic, and she was given the program from Rick once he retired, and she is an alumni. And she came through the program, under Rick and Edmund. Edmund Allen Jones. He's an alumni. We have Nick Huey is our he's pretty much my equivalent. I'm more of the acting side and the music side. The music program specialist is Nick Huey, who is an alumni. Our programs coordinator Jimmy Comer III is an alumni, as well as our college and career pathways coordinator Ryan Stapleton is an alumni. The only person they're not alumni is me. Honestly, I'm the one that's left out. So, but being there, I feel like one at the end of the day because everything is very ritualistic, very traditions happen there. So, all the best alumni, I think, stick around.
Alumni usually bring the true spirit and the heart of an organization. It keeps their heart beating and makes sure that the standards that they knew and come up under continues throughout the program. And Diara, I mentioned her. I know her show is out on TV now. Hopefully, we can contact her and get her
Get her here.
Get her in this studio.
Come on, girl.
That would be great.
It would be great.
And I would love to get the person that's doing the music in.
Oh, Nick Huey?
Nick Huey.
Absolutely.
Nick Huey,
Yeah.
Because we don't, when you're doing theater, music is a big part of that. And I know here at WJZZ, a music station, there's a lot of emphasis on music. And a lot of people don't understand the relationship of music and acting on the stage. As a writer myself, all of my plays are musical dramas. They're not your standard musicals like you were talking about Aladdin and Pearly and that sort of thing. But they're dramas with music, where the music and the singing and the lyrics are an extension of the dialogue. So there's music in theater is well, you got musical theater, so we'd love to get what's his name?
Nicholas Huey.
Nicholas Huey in
Mhm.
to talk about that, and I believe Zora Nunley is in that. She's in
Yep,
that.
she's a
Yes.
junior in the singing company.
Right. And hopefully we'll get Zora on as well as
Yeah,
her.
Zora and Nick can come. That'd be
Yes.
cute.
Yeah. And their ultra talented mother,
Mm-hmm.
Stacy Barrett. Hopefully we'll get her on as well. Um, so what's coming up? What's you had mentioned, of course, the summer program,
Mm-hmm.
and as a about to become an emerging writer, what do you have in your head?
What do I have in my head? Well, me and my friend, who is one of the young artist leaders at Mosaic,
Mm,
he is his name is Evan Brown. We're working on
that name sounds familiar.
we're working on a play ourselves. We don't have the title yet, but
Mhm.
Title pending.
title pending.
Okay.
But it's basically about an up and coming. It's there's this kid named Michael, and
Mhm.
he wants to go out of state for basketball to for college to pursue his career,
Mhm.
and he wants to play basketball, but his father is very strict, but not because, oh, I'm just a strict parent, but because he's very protective over his son. And so we see a clash of these two mindsets, and
Mhm.
then the son ends up running off and experiencing life on his own without his father's protection, and his father has to learn how to let his son grow up and be out on his own.
Okay.
And we also have um, the show All
Yep.
Hail coming up,
All hail.
written and directed by Siobhan Coleman.
Okay. Is Siobhan a student or a staff?
Siobhan is an alumni.
Okay.
Alumni of Mosaic, who is a also a recent alum of EMU, and she is currently teaching at U of M.
Okay.
She's a professor at U of M doing teaching one of their theater classes there.
Okay.
And she came back to direct our show, and she worked with the acting company to devise the script themselves. So it was
Okay.
in collaboration with Siobhan and the acting company together writing the adaptation
Mhm.
themselves, and that's going to open May 8th, and it runs until the 18th at the DFT. That's the Detroit Film Theater at the DIA,
Okay.
and it has it all. It has everything you could
Okay.
want.
Everything. It's modern. It's Shakespeare. This.
It's got some silly in there
Got some
too.
comedy
It's
in
got
it.
a lot of
got some
music,
serious.
original music.
High drama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Original songs.
Okay.
It's gonna be
Very addicting songs.
very
I've been
addicting. You're gonna
listening
be
to
in
'em.
the car just like Hail Caesar.
Okay. So
Rome.
this is a part of the on Hill, the Shakespeare Julius Caesar show that's coming up.
Mhm.
Yes.
Give us those dates again.
It is May 8th through the 18th
Okay, at the DIA.
at the DIA in the Detroit Film Lab or
Okay.
Detroit Film Theater.
You can
Okay.
purchase your tickets on Eventbrite.
Okay. Okay. You hear that, audience? Go out and buy those tickets and support these young people. Um, we are. We've got a few pictures. Excuse me. That we can show you of the young people in action. There we go.
Yep, there's Zora
Well,
back there. You just
yeah, that's
mentioned Zora.
Zora.
yeah,
Yeah.
there she goes. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I didn't think about you being in the show. I did it because it was the most. This is our most recent show, "Songs for the People," written by Nick Huey.
Okay.
It was a celebration of songs for the people. It's based off of the poem.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, now I'm forgetting his name. What's his name? Do you know his name?
Langston Hughes.
Is that who wrote "Songs for the People"?
Yes.
Okay, I can remember who it was.
Langston Hughes.
And use that as inspiration to curate a playlist, a set list of songs that kind of go through time. So it started with a lot of traditional, older kind of gospel hymns,
Mhm.
work songs, like that kind of foundational black music. And then it kind of went through the civil rights era. And then the third act was the more modern music,
Mhm.
but the overall theme being songs for the people. It was a wonderful, wonderful show.
Okay.
I know this was.
Oh.
Look at Liz. These I believe were from our last show that happened with the juniors. They did a lot of devising, so I'm sure they are devising something extraordinary here in this photo.
Okay.
More of our acting company, and this is one of those things where, like, if you look around, it's singers, it's actors, it's You wouldn't know any of these young artists and their discipline based off how they're interacting with each other. You would just think
Right.
we're all just performers here.
Right.
That tight knit community is my favorite thing about Mosaic is the community based ensemble work that we do.
Mm-hmm. They look like they were doing a little bit of everything.
I think this is Echoes. I want to say this is Echoes based off of the puppets. Apparently the best show ever that I just missed before I started here.
Okay.
Last year they did the junior company devised their own show. About just the theme were echoes, like sounds creating and motions creating waves. I just thought this picture was very very nice, and it kind of shows off our tech a little bit too, because we have lighting designers and
Mm-hmm.
who come up with all of these things.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. There's a few shots from Mosaic. I recommend it highly. Um, the All Hell is coming up,
Yes.
and then the summer program,
Mhm.
and
Auditions for next season will be in June.
okay, and then is there a season already in the works for next year? Oh, you mentioned some of that.
We are going to do an established piece. We're not going to devise a big show this
Mhm,
year,
mhm.
like we did this year. We are gonna work with something established
Mhm.
that we can really sink our teeth into. That we can again play with everybody. We can have everybody be a part of it. Some of our community members as well. So it'll be a big, exciting season. We will always have our junior showcase. Our juniors, our middle schoolers, they create their own showcase every year, kind of like that Echoes, that puppet show that you had just pulled up.
Mhm.
They're gonna do that early in the season. When the season starts, it's always a different show every year, and it's always created by them.
Okay. You had mentioned early on the different breakdown of age groups, like
Mhm.
fifth through grade.
Yeah.
What was that first group you mentioned? What age group was that?
So summer camp and the Mosaic mobiles. So summer camp is 3 through 8, and
Okay.
that's the 3 weeks in the summertime.
Okay.
And then our Mosaic Mobile, we come to you if you would like to experience Mosaic at your program or your organization. It's 3 through 5, so third through fifth grade.
Okay.
And then our in-house programming is middle school and high school. So fifth through eighth grade is our junior ensemble. So it's a junior company where they do a little bit of everything: acting,
Okay.
singing, and tech. So they kind of get their feet wet and then hopefully audition to be in the youth ensemble where they
Mhm.
can pick their discipline, being acting, singing, or technical theater. And that is 8th through 12th grade.
Okay. So for the parents out there, first let me just say you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world, streaming to you live at 5 on YouTube and Facebook. So please like us. Please give us some positive comments. Tell your friends, tell your family. Tune in every week to see what we got going on. See what's happening in the world of theater on Curtain Call, coming to you live on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Uh, my question was for the parents who would be interested in getting their young people, their children, in that first group,
Mhm.
through third graders through the eighth graders. What type of performance can they look forward to? What type of and where can you find or see those performances?
So with
And give us a breakdown on each one of those for the
yeah.
third to the grade and the
So
fifth to
so
the eighth.
so the summer camp they do a lot, and for the Mosaic Mobiles, for both of them it's a lot of workshop based
Mm-hmm.
stuff and during their like day to day. So we'll come and meet together. Mosaic Mobiles will typically just be for that day, or if they get like a few days during the week,
Mhm.
for usually just an hour or 2 hours where we do a workshop and collaborate together and experience some sort of ensemble based game, I guess, our theater games, and we teach people how to work within an ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
um and then once you're in the company there, you do get to build towards a show. So when you're in the junior ensemble, you are in every day. We call every day we meet rehearsal, because every day we're rehearsing for something. We always have something to rehearse for. So always for the juniors, they're always leading up to that first showcase. They have their junior showcase. With singers, it's typically what we do a lot of community performances. So people will reach out to us and ask us to perform for XYZ, whatever event, it's happening around, and they would like Mosaic to perform. And rehearsing for that, and those are always going up on our social medias, because those we always get pulled in to get offers to do all types of community based performances. And then we always have our big show at the end of the year. So this year will be Julius Caesar, and next year we have to stay tuned to see
Okay,
what
so
we
there's no
do.
no set performance, final production for the youngest group.
No, not for the youngest group. It's
Okay.
mostly just workshops for them.
Okay.
They're not
So
putting
they're
on a
just
full
learning and
yes.
looking forward to it.
Yes,
Well, the
yes.
younger groups this year they get to participate in
Well,
our
this
show,
year, yes,
our
this year is
production.
special.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this
Yep.
they're trying. Are you familiar with the public theater format?
What did you explain?
So, oh gosh, Edmund's gonna when he sees this, because he explained it to me so well, and I'm just gonna butcher it. But basically, we have our Mosaic company create the core performers, the principals and the understudies, all the core performers, and then
Mhm.
all of our background actors are going to be all of our junior ensemble
Okay.
members, and they typically don't get to be in the youth ensemble show, but they're going to
Right.
be able to be all the plebeians, in Rome, and
Okay.
all the people in the
Oh,
town. So
okay.
like they're going to be able to have moments on stage, and there's a marching band that celebrates Caesar's return.
Okay.
So all these little parts that they'll be able to contribute. And then even farther than that, out in the house, we're going to have other young artists from our Mosaic Mobiles, so our third through fifth graders,
Okay.
also fleshing out that ensemble and creating that environment that we're
Okay.
that we're in our story. So they're having them learn a little routine. There's a big celebration in the show,
Okay.
and so everybody comes out and we all do a little bit of something. So
Okay, it's like a full total immersion
right,
of the
yeah.
of the audience.
So
as
yeah,
well
like
as-
that, and it's called the public format because it's the public in New York. They'll have their equities, and then they'll have
Mhm.
they'll have their open auditions, and then it'll go like volunteer. It'll trickle down to where the entire community is involved with
Mhm.
creating the show.
Okay.
It's very interesting to be able to work with the juniors and just to see how focused and dedicated they are at their young age. We're young,
We have
but
10-year-olds.
they're even younger.
Okay.
We
Yes.
have two actual 10-year-olds who are in Julius Caesar.
Oh, great, great! I'm looking forward to seeing that. We're gonna come out and check that out. Uh, um, Shahada, what's the future look like for you? What's your plans? What do you want to go into performing arts as a professional, or are you looking to be a lawyer or a doctor or an Indian chief?
I'm looking to go into performance arts full time as a professional. I know it's a very unique industry,
Mm-hmm.
but one of my plans is to branch out instead of putting all my marbles into one basket. The best way to get into the industry is through other spaces. I know Asia talked about some people coming in to be, actors, singers, and techs, and ended up learning something greater and becoming lawyers and things like that. So I plan for the future to become a professional artist because I really value my art.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say that I'm a very creative person. It's when I put something out that I can be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a unique feeling for me, and it's very inspiring for me and for people around me,
Mm-hmm.
saying that I can see that you are very passionate about this.
Yes, yes, I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the stage and on the screen.
And it helps like this craft, it helps me to learn a lot about myself because before you can get to act and oh you gotta turn into this person, be this person, you have to know who you are
Exactly.
before you can get into any of that. So it really helps me. And I made a connection to my character while I was just in the car. I'm sitting in the car thinking about the questions you might ask. And I'm thinking about who my character is and what he goes through during the story. And I see that he is not a person that values having too much power. He doesn't care to have that much power. But throughout this story, you can see that he is given this power and his words have influence whether he likes it or not. So it's up to him to determine what he has to do, what he has to say to make sure everything goes well.
Okay, so you've just heard now a description of Brutus from All Hell, based on Julius Caesar, Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. That's coming in May, May 8th through the 18th, at the DIA in the
Yeah, at the DIA downtown Detroit.
right,
Yep.
right. So we hope you enjoyed this show. As you can see, this young man, you need to get out and see him now, before you have to start paying too much to see him. And support Mosaic Youth Theater, the finest training, theater training in the city of Detroit. We're so happy to have had you today. Thank you for coming and sharing your Mosaic experiences with us on Curtain Call. And audience, please join us next week, uh, live from the Pontiac Little Arts Theater in Pontiac, Michigan, next week on Curtain Call. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.